Ladies and gentlemen, we are live on UFC Fight Pass from Polvilho Arena in Cajamar, São Paulo, Brazil, for the LFA 151. This fight card is sanctioned by CAB MMA, the Brazilian Athletic Commission. This next bout is scheduled for 3 5-minute rounds for the LFA lightweight division, and it's brought to you by Prime Sports. Introducing first, fighting out of the blue corner. This man is a jiu-jitsu style fighter. He stands 6 feet even, and he weighs in at 156 pounds. He holds an undefeated professional record of 5 wins, being 5 submissions. Representing Gazette team and fighting out of Rio de Janeiro, Gabriel Souza. And his opponent standing across the cage, fighting out of the red corner. This man is a mixed martial artist. He stands 5 feet 9 inches tall and weighs in at 153.2 pounds. He holds a professional record of 3 wins, being 1 knockout and only 1 defeat. Representing Shoot the Box Diego Lima and fighting out of São Paulo, Brazil, Lucas No Mercy Escobar. And the referee in charge of the octagon is Flávio Catarino.
Preliminary action. We are set for 3 5-minute rounds in the lightweight division. And Nascimento, Lucas Escobar with the red tape. And Gabriel Souza has the blue tape. Run cut. Along with Big Nog and Max Suarez here tonight. Kicking off the action, Sao Paulo.
Yeah, Gabriel since the beginning, shows a lot of.
Are you hearing me?
A lot of action going on
A
here,
lot of
Ron.
action
I can tell
from-
you,
yeah.
Escobar coming from a good background in shoot box, Diego Lima, Gabriel Souza, Gazette team, trains with guys like Jonas Bidarino, Rodolfo Trator, Tractor. So it's a good matchup, like as always. Mark Beery,
Wow.
good stuff.
Great
Big
kick for
shots.
Gabriel. Great kick.
Absolutely.
He got a bigger breach. Yeah, he got it.
And there's the Escobar.
Look, the
looking for
guillotine.
that.
He already got the guillotine really tight.
And Gabriel Souza,
Wow,
That's
he
it.
got it.
The
He
tap
got it.
out.
He got it.
Big Nog calls it. There's the guillotine and the tap out. And a quick victory for 25-year-old Gabriel Souza. Very impressive. Now moves to 3-0 in the LFA Octagon. 6-0 overall, guys.
Well, you know what? He put his BJ Jiu skills into play. Jiu-Jitsu black belt, Big Nog, I gotta tell you, training with some tough guys, Jiu-Jitsu saves the day once again.
I was just was going to talk about him. This kid got a good jiu-jitsu, good strikes, and his submission. When he got it, he didn't let it go. Wow, impressed. Was quick.
And technically speaking, Ron and Big Nog, that guillotine he topped it off with that head kick. That guillotine, when he got it at the right time, because it's the beginning of the round. You're not sweaty, you're not slippery. As soon as he went for that double leg, he immediately locked that guillotine in.
Yeah, he met, when he did the guillotine, he know what he was doing. Perfect one, really tight techniques. Look at that, beautiful. His opponent was trying to throw, was perfect timing, everything was good, but he know what he was doing.
Big Nog, you called it as soon as Escobar went for that takedown. Souza locked in that guillotine.
Yeah, I was calling that guillotine, man.
Yeah, well done, sir. 6 victories, all 6 coming by way of submission. Let's now make it official. Here's the other.
Ladies and gentlemen, the referee Julio Catarino has called a stop to this contest at 1 minute and 3 seconds of the very first round, declaring the winner by submission via guillotine choke, Gabriel Souza.
Impressive win by Gabriel Souza, Big Nog, putting his black belt in there and letting everybody know that he's a danger in this division, 6-0. He climbed up in this octagon and he said, hey, I want the best of you. He kind of even did that, belt
So
thing.
I was
Hey,
going to tell that he asked for the belt. He asked for the
6-0.
belt, man. I think he's second or third fight in LFA. You don't have that much experience, but he proves right there what he did today. He might have a chance someday,
I don't think he's going to be on the preliminary cards too much longer. At 6-0, looking impressive. See Gabriel Souza on the main card very soon.
And he was showing his face after the fight. Looked like he didn't fight, He was like, clear.
Well, he better not, because he's a model too.
Yeah. I mean, he's a part-time model. He doesn't want to get all banged up,
That's the moneymaker right there.
And I'll tell you what, like we say in the MMA world, if you come out of a fight and your face is fresh and clean, it was a good day at work.
It was a good day.
Good day at the office for sure.
Meu nome é José Delano, tenho 26 anos, sou pernambucano, vim de Recife, represento a Brasília Top Team e eu estou disputando o cinturão de peso-pena do LFA.
Meu nome é Gabriel Santos, da cidade de Beberibe, Ceará. E pra mim estar hoje disputando o cinturão mundial do LFA, pra mim, já sonhei isso, entendeu? Não é de hoje, não foi ontem. E não importa o que aconteça, só vejo um braço erguido que vai ser o meu. 2 sobe e 1 desce. Quem vai subir sou eu.
Eu me sinto em casa aqui, me sinto bem pra caramba. Estou muito feliz com mais uma oportunidade que eu estou tendo de disputar o cinturão. E eu acredito sim que essa luta é o início de uma longa jornada que eu vou caminhar ainda esse ano. Vai ser a minha abertura de ano agora. Meu ano vai começar depois dessa luta.
Fora do tatame, isso é o mais importante. Que é respeitar as pessoas, ser uma pessoa boa. O meu legado é esse, entendeu? Ser luz, ser inspiração, né? Então isso que me faz ser uma pessoa brilhante lá em cima e toda vez sair com o braço erguido.
Eu vou para minha 4ª luta e dentro dessas 4 lutas, 2 vezes eu não bati o peso. E aí em Recife eu consegui cumprir, bati a meta, bati o peso, mostrei para todo mundo que eu consigo bater. Então quando eu venci a luta, eu sabia que eu ia lutar novamente, o meu medo de novo era tipo, caraca, não posso decepcionar, não posso bater na trave de novo. Agora é valendo o cinturão, eu vou bater o peso como eu bati em Recife e dessa vez eu vou mostrar pra todo mundo quem é José Delano, campeão do LFA.
Sou tipo um gladiador, entendeu? Eu me sinto um gladiador. Da antiga, tá ligado? Os caras passavam a noite na loucura, e agora amanhã vamos matar os caras, entendeu? Então eu sou esse cara, feliz, dançando, brinco. O que os fãs podem esperar dessa luta, que é um Gabriel feliz, contente e assassino.
This is as real as it gets, and it's mind-blowing.
I love everything about that fight.
These are the moments that the fighters live for.
I can't wait. Oh, kicked him in the face.
Oh, Rose!
We will all witness a piece of UFC history.
Unbelievable!
You're sitting at home watching this, and you just go, holy shit.
The double tap does what he wants!
Master, teach me Kung Fu.
One of the most epic fights.
There's nothing I do better in this life than fighting.
Unbroken, baby. This team is unbroken.
We have a sport with some of the best athletes in the world.
Boom!
One of the greatest knockouts you'll ever see!
The UFC has never been stronger.
It does not get any better. That is good.
This is a crazy sport, ladies and gentlemen.
Ladies and gentlemen, let's welcome the next fighters to the cage. In the blue corner, Cássio Barão.
LFA 151. Prelims are underway. We've got a lightweight showdown. Cássio Barão and Lucas Barros. Here's Cássio Barão, Run Crook, Max Suarez, and Big Nog with you tonight. What's going on, boys?
How's it going, everybody at home? I'll tell you what, the first fight of this prelim that we just broadcasted was fire. I'm anxious for this one because Cássio Barão is the guy from hometown. There's 200 to 300 people that are here to see this guy. We noticed that at the weigh-ins, we can definitely tell that tonight. Before he even walked in, Big Nog, we had the crowd going crazy. I'm very anxious to see how he's going to perform in a big show like the LFA in his hometown in front of his fans.
Yeah, and I can see he's really excited since yesterday in the wings. You know, especially when you listen the crowd, you know, when you fight at home, especially in Brazil, you know, he's from São Paulo, his hometown is close by. Man, we're going to see a good fight tonight.
He said 300 to 500 of his fans are here. His mom, Big Nog, is here too. She cooked food for all the guests. They are ready to see Cássio Barão in action. Had a very busy 2022. He's 7-0. This is his 7th fight, guys, in only 13 months. He comes in 2 victories by way of knockout and 5 by way of submission. 27-year-old, and listen to that ovation.
And his opponent in the red corner, Lucas Barros.
Riding a 2-fight win streak, Lucas Barros makes his LFA debut, and he comes part of Kajima that's just about 2 hours away, and I think he brought some fans with him, you guys.
Well, you know, Ron, that's actually the chant, the famous chant, "Ooh, you're gonna die."
You're gonna, yeah.
So I think he forgot to bring
you guys
his fans.
got better ears than I do, man.
I'll tell you what, Lucas Feio is a good kid. Very tough, trains with Kiyoshi, which is right behind him, talking in his ear right there. But I gotta tell you, he's entering hostile territory right now. He's got 400 to 500 people against him right now, plus 1 inside the cage that definitely want to rip his head off. So I'm anxious not only to see how he's gonna handle it, Ron, but also to see how Barão is gonna handle it, because he's fought 7 times in a year, but never like this. In a show like this, hometown, 500 people cheering for you, the pressure might take a toll on him.
It's a big pressure, especially fighting an LFA, you know, a big show like that. Right. You know, sometimes you got this pressure with the crowd, you know, on your side, but how he gonna manage that, you know? He's gonna face a, you know, tough opponent, but definitely the crowd is on the other side.
Absolutely. All right, let's check out the tail of the tape presented by Auto Star of Volvo. Barros is 30. Ed Barros, he is 27 years old. Barros is 2 years taller. Both fighters tipped the scales at 154. Both men have black belts in BJJ and are combined for 9 first-round finishes. Let's get the action going and go inside the LFA octagon to Thiago Pamplona.
Ladies and gentlemen, this next bout is scheduled for 3 5-minute rounds for the LFA lightweight division. And it's brought to you by Auto Star Volvo. Introducing first, fighting out of the blue corner. This man is a Muay Thai and Jiu-Jitsu style fighter. He stands 5 feet 8 inches tall. He weighs in at 154.8 pounds. He holds an undefeated professional record of 7 wins, being 2 knockouts and 5 submissions, with no defeats. Representing Diogo Teles MMA, fighting out of Palmas, Tocantins, by way of Quedamar, São Paulo, Cássio Barão. And his opponent standing across the cage, fighting out of the red corner. This man is a boxing and jiu-jitsu style fighter. He stands 5 feet 10 inches tall and weighs in at 154.4 pounds. He holds a professional record of 7 wins, being 2 knockouts and 4 submissions, with only 2 defeats. Representing Team Kiyoshi and fighting out of Itapetinga, São Paulo, Lucas Feio Barro. And the referee in charge of the octagon is João Cláudio.
Well, here it is. The chant is on again, Ron.
And Max, I'm glad you pointed that out, because it did sound like they were cheering for him, but it's the classic Brazilian chant when you go into a hostile territory. We are underway. LFA, a lightweight action. Ron Clark, Max Suarez, and Big Nog with you. Glad you could be with us on UFC Fight Pass, Facebook, and YouTube. And guys, they are coming out firing.
Yeah, like I said, I was anxious to see how Barão was going to deal with this crowd in favor of him, how Lucas is going to deal with this crowd against him. Both fighters right off the bat starting off firing. Barão got some good knees in, very good outside leg kick. He's got to keep the pressure, but he's got to understand that there's 3 rounds in this fight.
3 rounds. They just starting like 100%, you know. We can see Barros got a biggest reach. And Barão tried to get this fight close, you know. Put a lot of action. Like you said, Max. You know, they put everything in the first round. I don't know if they can. Oh, wow.
It's our first
nice
takedown, and we've
Barão.
got to scramble both fighters back up on their feet. Furious pace.
And I guess that tattoo on Barão's back is an indication of what his primary martial art is. He's got jiu-jitsu tatted on his back. He's definitely going for that. He's been on Lucas on that cage, putting that pressure. I truly believe he wants this fight on the mat, Ron.
Barão, a black belt BJJ, also a black belt Muay Thai, a 6-time world and national champion in Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu. So yes, Max, I think that would be a wise game plan for him.
And Lucas is also a very, very talented fighter. He's good. He's very good at punching and kicking with the same leg. He did that a couple times during the beginning of the fight. By the angle I'm at right now, I can see a little bit of a swelling on his left shin, on Lucas's left shin. You can see there's almost a baseball on that shin right there.
And we get a timeout from our referee for a low blow. See if he just warns Barão. We give Barão it's 5 minutes if he wants it, as we take a look. And
yeah, that was a clear shot.
Yeah, that was south of the border. Another look at it there.
But you know, was a little bit up, man. But
you
when you got this protection,
yeah,
you know, sometimes hurts your your bone, you know.
Yeah, I mean, it chipped on the cup, and that's enough for the ref to, you know, consider it a low blow.
Yeah.
I mean, it's fair, because when you hit the cup, no matter where it is, it's going to hurt you.
Barão looking for another takedown. Barão fighting it off. Great crowd here tonight. LFA 151, and you can hear them. They have brought it tonight.
In a situation like this, you got your back on the cage, you still have 2 minutes left in the first round. It's a tough fight, but having a crowd like this behind you will give you that extra mile that you need to turn things around.
For sure, it's like one more corner, yeah.
It's a third corner. You know, it's like the bench player.
It sounds like when Big Nog would come out in Tokyo and the crowd would just erupt and go nuts for you, my friend. And now
Nice
we check
throw.
out the action. And
But look like Barros doesn't care too much about the crowd, you know. He's doing the action there. He's fine. His reach was bigger in the strikes, and he putting down the fight, you know.
Well, I'll tell you why. He trains with Kiyoshi. Kiyoshi is a very good jiu-jitsu artist, and you can see he's comfortable.
Right.
Because at the end of the day, it's not jiu-jitsu, it's MMA. So
MMA.
you're gonna take some blocks to the face.
It is.
And we mentioned Barros, BJJ black belt, but so is Barros, a no-gi South American champ too. Has 4 victories out of his 7 coming by way of submission, including 3 first-round finishes. 1 minute to go in the opening round.
I gotta say, Lucas is surprising me a little bit. You know, he's not letting the crowd play against him. Looks like, was it another legal shot? No. That was, did the ref call that?
I am
no
blown
action?
away.
stand
Why
too
did he
much.
stand him up?
I didn't know.
But this is a big opportunity as both fighters now in the center of the octagon training. Big knees from Barros.
Wow.
Barros flying knee.
That was a rough hold on the cage. I mean, he didn't let that takedown happen because he was holding on the cage.
And another takedown for Barros. Fighters back up. I'm still trying to figure out why I picked him up.
I didn't understand, my friend. You know, he was walking there. He was throwing some elbows and punches.
Right.
He was staying active.
Very active.
Yeah, both are.
Well, if that's a sign of things to come, we're in store for a lot of action tonight,
Yes,
boys.
we are.
There's the horn, and round number 1 is in the books. What a furious opening round between Barros and Barros, guys. I mean, right away, both fighters throwing punches, knees, takedowns. We saw a little bit of everything.
You know, that's totally true, and I'm afraid that Barros stepped on that gas pedal a little bit too much, maybe because of the hype he had in the crowd. I was noticing him a little tired towards the end, throwing all his energy on every punch. And that can be dangerous because we still have 2 more rounds to go in that fight.
Yeah, Big Nog, he looked like he was trying to finish this fight early on, and it was Barros who was able to hold on.
Lucas was trying to finish the fights. He did some throws. He was even control. I think Lucas did better in the first round. He controlled the stance position. The fight was kind of even, but I gave the first round to Lucas. Great fight, a lot of action.
I agree. Barros was aggressive. He did land some good knees, but that was pretty much it. Every time he tried to take Lucas down, Lucas would counter and end up on top. Second round underway. We got 5 more minutes of action. And like I said in the beginning, don't know if Barros still has all that in his gas tank.
Although he's got the blue tape, Lucas Barros with the red tape. LFA 151, preliminary action. We've got a big night in store. The finals of the featherweight tournament in our main event. Gabriel Santos and Jose Delano.
Barros throwing those haymakers. He's putting his head down. He's throwing that overhand. The problem with that, Big Nog, is if it doesn't land, you're in a very tough position to be in.
It is. It is. And, you know, in the jabs from Lucas, you know, he find out his reach. He knows he's a taller. Since Barros is very aggressive, you know, good hooks in the body, you know, he controls his good knees. But, you know, I think Barros find out his reach. That's why he's taking advantage of this side.
Yes, and the cage fight is a very tiring fight. You use a lot of energy. There's a lot of isometric strength. So you got to understand who's going to take the best of this. Lucas Feio, once again, working the cage well and taking Barão down in that guard that so many guys have found it difficult to work in.
So he's very comfortable inside that guard right now, although he's taking a couple elbows.
And especially when you are tall, you know, from the Greco-Roman throws, you know, like use your arm reach, you know, to involve, you know, Barão's Barros body, you know, he did again, he taller leggers. That's why he used it.
He was trying that Ezekiel choke from up top.
Opened him up now with those elbows from the bottom. Can't see it from that shot, but definitely a cut to the forehead of Lucas Barros. Blood is trickling down, which will make it more difficult to pull off a submission. But that's the danger of Cássio Barão from the bottom.
Yeah, I mean, Big Nog, you've been in some bloody fights. How much does blood get in the way of finishing a fight?
You know, really for the bullseye right now. It's Barão and Barros. But you know, but the blood comes inside of the eyes, especially when you are playing guard in the battle. You know, the blood comes in your eye. You know, that's disturb a lot. You know, the Barão's walk from the guard position. But he's sleeping a lot. I can tell you, man. When on the ground game in the grappling game, you know, it's very sleepy, like a soup. Vaseline, yeah.
Posturing up and now dropping some hammer fists through the guard with Barros. Maybe a sense of urgency with that blood trickling from the forehead. So we're past 2 minutes to go in the second round, scheduled for 3.
Barão is being aggressive off his back. He did land some very good elbows, but Lucas is being aggressive on top as well. We have to take that into consideration now. Barão with his head against the cage, very, very uncomfortable position to be in.
It is. And even Barão underhook him, and you know, trying to do a really good groundwork, you know, that arm locks and things like this. But when it's bloody like that, it's sleeping a lot, like what I was telling you.
A lot of work for our cutmen tonight, Ron, a lot of work. Or should we say, in LFA fashion, since we do everything differently, our cut women.
Oh, there you go, buddy. Absolutely. Both men making their LFA debuts tonight. A minute to go here in the second round. You can hear the crowd is definitely behind Cássio Barão, the 27-year-old who comes in undefeated, but he's in a war right now.
Being very efficient from the top, very aggressive. Now past that guard, Barão trying to go over to that turtle position, and Lucas already with that.
Wow.
Look at that. He caught that arm already, Big Nog.
He's got it already. Look like he's gonna get it. He's gonna get it.
Tweaking the arm, Cássio Barão grimacing in pain. Can he hold on?
Wow.
How is he not tapping out?
He's got 500 people here to see him, and he doesn't want to tap.
He's in pain. He's getting that past the leg. Everything.
10 seconds.
Can he hold on?
Wow.
Somehow still hanging on. Fans holding their breath, and now there's the horn. Cássio Barão hangs on, but will he be able to answer the bell?
I think he's got some problem with that shoulder. I think something happened.
He got some problem.
We'll have to see how he's coming back.
Wow.
Both fighters stumbling to their corners, guys.
I was talking to Big Nog here, Ron. I think something happened to that arm. At one point, that arm was twisted all the way to his back. You can see the pain expression on his face.
Look at that. Right there. I know, bro. I think.
And Big Nog, you're the guy to know. That
I broke my arm, my friend.
Way.
Definitely, you know, he's in pain right now. Something wrong in his arm. You saw the way he stand up, you know, walk like carrying his own arm. And I don't know, man.
Yeah, I believe something might have happened there. A bone might have popped. Let's see. The doctor's going to take a look if he's coming back with that arm the way it is.
And Cássio Barão answered the bell. You know he's going all on adrenaline right now, fellas. Wants to get back in there, get a win for his mom and his hometown fans, and it looks like he's coming out. Lucas Barros got to be like, what do I have to do? I took this guy's arm with me.
And you can see Barros' expression. He's laughing at him like, you really, look at that. Like,
He's
you
laughing.
really survived that?
Absolutely. Barros, what a battle between these two lightweights. They touch gloves and round 3 underway.
Well, Lucas Barros already has a target if he wants to keep hurting Barão.
There's a
He got the guillotine. He's got the guillotine right now.
But he goes into the guillotine.
He's getting.
That same arm that was hurt is there. That same arm that was hurt is the pressure arm.
Wow.
What
Lucas is doing the right thing.
Could be a costly move from Barros, who was in control of this fight and now is hanging on for dear life.
Lucas was doing the right thing. He was keeping his hips up, making sure that pressure wasn't going all the way to the head. But we can see Barão is just fighting against his own gas tank right now. The crowd's going wild. This is not a good place for him to be right now if that didn't work out.
And it did not work out. So Barros inside the guard of Barão, where he has had some success on his back with those elbows, Big Nog. See if he rains down a few more here, and maybe wisely, Lucas back up on his feet. Now he shoots back in.
What a fight, bro.
Yeah,
what a fight, unbelievable. Because the guillotine was really tight there, right there, you know.
To be honest with you, I'm still
impressed.
Look,
he tried the leg lock. Wow.
I'm still impressed. I was back with the arm like that. I was taking that back.
And after the scramble of Barros, inside the guard of Bardo.
And Lucas' jiu-jitsu is really good as well. I didn't expect he was that good. You saw that roll he did, really technical thing.
That's something that happens to people that are very comfortable on the ground. They already anticipate what's going on. They go in for that roll. Barão spun over beautifully, but Lucas followed that spin and got into a very, very good position. I'm just still impressed how Barão came back with that arm. I mean,
yeah, and didn't look like, you know, he was holding it or, you know, it was a dead arm when he came out and answered the bell. I mean, what a warrior. Maybe 100% adrenaline and just building off the fans here, because I didn't think he was answering the bell, guys.
Yeah.
When you see how much energy, you know, how much serious those Brazilians prospect take, you know, LFA.
Great
they
point.
gave 100% that because they know, you know, they want to be international show. They want to be in the lights, you know, show up to the world, they, you know, how good they are. So I'll tell you, Rod, you know, I see those kids fighting LFA. I'd be so proud because I know the next generation from Brazil. You know, they're really good.
And these are just examples of the next generation, Big Nog. Like you said, two young fighters making their LFA debuts. And as we've seen, guys, every time we're down here, the Brazilian fighters know what the opportunity they have, and they leave it all inside that octagon.
Yeah, you know, lately Brazilians haven't had the opportunity before the LFA got here. Now, you know, we're constantly coming to Brazil. We've got a game plan.
Oh, he's back in the guillotine. Lucas Barros in trouble again. Cássio Barros looking for a walk-off submission. Look at the blood leaking from the forehead of Lucas now.
Lucas doing the right thing, keeping that pressure all on his head, lifting those hips. But Barão knows he's got 1 minute left. If his corners are on point, they're going to tell him how much time he has left in this last round. This is do or die for him, literally.
If you have not subscribed to UFC Fight Pass, this is the time to do it. This is just the preliminary action, folks, here at LFA 151. An unreal start to this fight card.
You know, the problem with Barão is too short. You know, so he can't stretch Barros, you know. If he's taller, like, you know, tall side like Barros, he could stretch. But the guillotine is really tight. It's really tight, you know. And great point, Max. You know, Barros defended really good. You know, like point fingers, try to work on the hands. You see his right hand's right there. You know, try to break in the grip.
Yeah, at this point, I just believe Barão is just kind of holding on to the position. You can see it's not even that tight. Ending the fight in this position is good, but I don't think he was close to getting a submission, though. Lucas defended it very well.
What a fight.
Back and forth action. Both fighters had a chance to take out their opponent with some incredible submission attempts as we check out, guys, the action in that third and final round, Big Nog.
Yeah, it was a great action. You know, you see like back and forth. You saw them rolling. You know, when Barão tried to get the, you know, Barros side, you see again the scramble. Both very aggressive since the beginning, since the first round. But I think, you know, Barros failed. Yeah, Lucas failed. He took this fight.
I agree with you, but you know what? If it's to lose, this is the way to lose. You win a 3-round war, 15 minutes in your hometown with your fans watching. There's nothing to be bummed about. If he loses, of course, we don't know the final decision yet, but if he loses, it's not a bad way to lose. So
how did you two score this? Big Nog, you've got it 2 rounds to 1 going Lucas's way.
I'll get all the rounds for Lucas. Okay. You know, he finished in the top. You know, he was controlling from the bottom position. You know, he didn't try. You know, all the 2 submissions from Barão. Okay, but didn't change. You know, since he's got the ground with him, but didn't change the fight. No, I think Lucas took 2 rounds.
I'm with you, Big Nog, definitely. He was. The first round was a tight round, but I believe Lucas was more effective. Second and third kind of played it out in a way better for Lucas. He got those better positions. He was in control more and was definitely more aggressive.
What a fight here in the LFA, a lightweight division. The judges have calculated their scores. Let's get the official decision from Thiago Pamplo.
Ladies and gentlemen, after 3 rounds, we go to the judges' scorecards for a decision. The judges scored this contest 28-27, 28-28, and 28-28, declaring this winner, declaring this result a majority draw.
Wow.
Wow.
That's surprising.
Okay. So it's a draw.
That was a draw.
Well, you know what?
They considered that submission may change.
We had 2 judges giving it 28-20, but you know what? I'm not going to say it was a bad call because, I mean, you had margin for that. I definitely believe, I mean, in my opinion at least, I believe Lucas won.
I agree.
You know, but it is what it is, and at the end of the day, Ron, if you're in your hometown, you got 500 fans, it's better to come out with a draw than a loss, right?
I think they consider, you know, the submission of what, you know, Barão was
last round.
The second and last round, you know, 2-round the submission might make the, you know, the 2-round tie.
Possibly. I'm giving the victory to Cássio Barão's fans here tonight.
Totally.
They could have been the difference, but a very entertaining way to kick off the LFA 151 prelims.
Eu sou a Júlia Polastre, vim disputar o título das pesos palhas aqui no LFA Brasil, LFA 151. Eu tenho 24 anos e represento a cidade de Duque de Caxias, Rio de Janeiro.
Hola, mi nombre es Brenda Gotic, soy de Argentina, pertenezco al equipo Team Goa. Estoy acá en el LFA para competir contra Julia Polastri por el cinturón de la categoría de 52 kilos.
Sei que o brasileiro tem isso nele, tem essa alma de guerreiro, de ir em busca e não desistir até não aguentar mais e realmente não dá para fazer mais nada. Então acho que esse é o diferencial que vai trazer o título.
Sé que en Brasil hay muy buen nivel y que para cualquier argentino llegar a competir en este país contra un brasileño es subir a un escalón más, llegar a lo más alto donde puede llegar un peleador.
Não descobri a luta na minha infância, né, como a maioria geralmente descobre. Mas depois que eu descobri, eu vi que, cara, eu fui feita para isso, sabe?
Sé que es algo muy importante el cinturón, pero soy de las personas que quiere pensar que es una pelea más y que va a ser una experiencia más para yo subir de nivel.
Nessa luta eu não quero me poupar absolutamente nada, eu quero entrar para fazer e botar todo mundo para gritar, assim. Eu quero ouvir o Psycho reverberando naquele ginásio.
Siento que poder representar a mi país es algo muy importante porque siento que no hay un volumen muy grande de argentinos que lleguen a competir en un evento tan importante como este. Y nada, me siento un poco orgullosa de poder ser yo y poder demostrar lo que podemos hacer.
A vida, ela traz tanta coisa pra gente que a gente tem que lidar com os treinos e com as lutas e com tudo que às vezes você para e pensa, gente, será que eu tô pronto pra isso? Será que é isso que eu quero fazer e tal? Esse é o meu futuro, é isso que eu quero, é isso que lá na frente vai me dar tudo que eu mais quero, que é uma qualidade de vida boa pra mim, pra minha família, é realizar os meus sonhos, é realizar os sonhos das pessoas que eu amo. Então vai ser o marco assim de falar, garota, voa, voa que o mundo é teu.
Hey guys, it's a big decision, I know, but I decided to make an OnlyFans account for you. My channel is different. I'm gonna travel, training, give me back to community. Let's go, you guys gonna enjoy.
LFA 151 co-main event, strawweight title on the line, marking another chapter in South America's most famous sporting rivalry between Brazil and Argentina. Contender Series vet Julia Polastri from Brazil will have that home cage advantage tonight when she battles Argentina's top undefeated prospect, Brenda Gotig, for the vacant strawweight strap. Guys, this is going to be a fantastic main event. Big Nog, talk about Julia Polastri, the 24-year-old from Rio.
Yeah, Julia Polastri got a great experience to stand up, great kickboxing. She's really impressed, in November last year. Here in this hometown, she's really good, very effective fighter.
Very technical, and it comes in with a very impressive 10-3 record, 1-0 inside the LFA octagon. But she will be tested tonight by Argentina's Brenda Gotig. Max, undefeated herself, 6-0, second title fight in a row for her, but 4 victories coming by way of knockout.
Yeah, first time Brenda comes to Brazil. In her first time, she's challenging a Brazilian on Brazilian soil, going for that strawweight strap. The 4 girls that won that same title are currently flying high in the UFC. Brenda, that's what she wants. She wants to be not only the first Argentinian fighter to fight here in Brazil in the LFA, but also the first one in Brazil.
There is our LFA 151 full card, back-to-back World Championship title fights, featherweight division in the main event. Delano and Santos, Gotig and Polastri in the co-main. Some killers on this card, Big Nog. What fights are you looking forward to seeing tonight?
Man, it's really hard to decide what's the best fight there. I like that fight, Jonas Bellerino and Caio Machado.
Oh,
both
man.
are like killers, very talented fighters. Caio Machado is 100% hard. He also tattooed the LFA in his arm. I like Jonas Bellerino's style, but one guy really impressed me, Milson de Castro. That
Killer.
kid is like 13, wins straight. He just came back from Rocha and 3 wins in a row. This kid's a killer. But on the other side, tell about this guy is gonna face, Max.
Yeah, Anderson Buzica, world Muay Thai champion in the Lumpini Stadium.
Before we get to that, we've got one more LFA 151 preliminary action in the lightweight division. Here is the tail of the tape, powered by Fuel. Newcomer Matheus meets LFA veteran Jefferson Nascimento in a battle of unbeatens. Take a look at the numbers, and Hassa 23 and Nascimento 24. It's Hassa who is 3 inches taller and 2 inches longer in the arms. We are set for 3 5-minute rounds in the LFA lightweight division. For the official fighter introductions, we go inside to Thiago Pamplona.
Ladies and gentlemen, this next bout is scheduled for 3 5-minute rounds for the LFA lightweight division, and it's brought to you by Fuel Eyewear. Introducing first, fighting out of the blue corner. This man is a mixed martial artist. He stands 5 feet 8 inches tall and weighs in at 155 pounds. He holds an undefeated professional record of 8 wins, being 2 knockouts and 3 submissions with no defeats, representing Renovação Fight Team and fighting out of Rio de Janeiro, Brazil, Jefferson Todinho Nascimento. And his opponent standing across the cage, fighting out of the red corner. This man is a striker. He stands 5 feet 11 inches tall and weighs in at 154 pounds. Also holding an undefeated professional record of 5 wins, being 5 knockouts, and representing Academia Octógono, and fighting out of São Bernardo do Campo, São Paulo, Matheus Sniper Rocha. And the referee in charge of the octagon is Fernando Portela.
Underway, our final LFA 151 prelim. Big Nog in the house, Max Suarez with it, and Ron Kruk. We are thrilled that you could be with us on UFC Fight Pass, Facebook, and YouTube. Got a huge card coming up. You will not want to miss it, but first, action here in the lightweight division, guys.
Yeah, we got a much taller Rocha. The sniper, the sniper got the reach and height advantage, but Nascimento, very experienced, coming from a very good team in Rio de Janeiro from Master Cromado. This is an interesting matchup because Rocha 5-0, all 5 of his wins by knockout.
Wow.
Fighting a guy like Nascimento, very aggressive, but shorter. To get on the inside, Big Nog, he's gonna have to close that distance, but he's facing a guy with a huge reach advantage.
Yeah, you got look at that, here from close. Wow, Zarada got one shot.
Oh,
wow.
Body and then up top. Jefferson Nascimento throwing his fist and knocks down Hassa. Jefferson Nascimento victorious in spectacular fashion. Whoa!
Guess that reach and height advantage didn't mean anything.
It doesn't mean anything.
He just made me waste my voice on that height reach advantage, Ron.
Wow.
Well, when you get that close and throw those big bombs, it helps out, right, Big Nog?
He was really close here, Ron. From the close distance, he did a really good combination. Shot in the bottom, hook in the face. Man, this kid, like you said, man, he's a killer, man.
Yeah, and you know what? It's a very classic short versus tall match. The tall wants to keep the distance, the short guy wants to close in. Nascimento closed in. Rocha let him close in. That was his mistake.
He was trying to do his jab, but this guy was moving side to side like Mike Tyson. He reminds me of Mike Tyson.
Let's check it out, Big Nog.
He felt that first overhand, then he went to the body
and then up top.
Then the straight punch, then the hooks. Wow. Hook again.
Wow.
This kid's a killer.
He's got some power.
He smells blood.
He smelled blood is right, guys, and he came in for the finish. Jefferson Nascimento came in undefeated at 8-0, 2 victories by way of knockout, 3 submissions, but on a 8-fight win streak. and let's make it 9.
And he gives Rocha his first pro defeat. He's at 5-1 now. But I'll tell you what, losing in the LFA is not bad, I guess.
Not bad, especially in LFA, you know, big show. He must be very, you know, Cromado must be very proud of him, you know.
Yeah,
sure.
You can tell he's almost eating his phone.
Well, we said that.
Got his phone in his mouth.
We were gonna, some of these guys on the preliminary bouts were going to make a claim to be on the next LFA main card, and Jefferson Nascimento, wow. He made a strong argument tonight with that victory. Let's get the official time back inside to Thiago Pamplona.
Ladies and gentlemen, the referee Fernando Portela has called a stop to this contest at 1 minute and 18 seconds of the first round, declaring the winner by knockout, Jefferson Todinho Nascimento.
And I'll tell you what, very happy Nascimento with Master Cromado there, lifting him in his arms. For those that are at home and don't understand his nickname, Todinho means milk chocolate.
Milk chocolate, yeah.
I like it. See, Max, there's a reason we keep you around.
That's, you know what, I'm happy I can at least translate those nicknames.
Yeah.
Do it the best,
And the last fight was fail, fail.
Fail means ugly. So
ugly.
The ugly one and the chocolate milk too.
Guys, that is going to wrap up the LFA 151 preliminary action. Man, we are so excited for this card tonight. You want to get over to UFC Fight Pass. We have 2 World Championship title fights, the featherweight title and the strawweight title on the line, and you heard Big Nog talk about it. There are some killers in action here tonight. So get to UFCFightPass.com, and if you haven't yet, sign up today. That's going to do it for the prelims. For my broadcast partners, Big Nog, Max Suarez, I'm Ron Kruk. We'll see you over on UFC Fight Pass.